I'll be calling you a radical. This is an important video, really important. I don't give a fuck if it's 3 views. I'm going to record fucking history, because if you don't, as it happens, come on, media? Fuck those imperialist bootlickers? Academia, Weber State University, all these fucking state. If you haven't noticed, the state of Utah is fucking off their fucking rocker. Go give Tim Ballard a fucking check. Corrupt as hell? Oh, fuck. So, I'm going to put this up. This is a tribute to Anthony Johnson. And I challenge anyone on earth. All you basketball freaks, nuts. You know, we love that game, right? And I grew up right here. This was a very hallowed, sacred piece of real estate. This is very controversial when they put this here. The merger of Utah Construction and General Electric. It's 46 years ago, I think maybe to the day, yesterday, or even today, the first game in here. The great Neil McCarthy. And I had lifetime tickets, but they expired my lifetime. Well, they've tried to do that a few times. But indigenous people played basketball. I don't think a lot of people know that. Oh, they played a game that was very similar. A long field. They had a hoop up on a pole on each end. The hoop was on the side right up there. They played with a ball. They played in teams. Have you been ever on any of the reses? You ever watched any res ball? You don't think they're passionate about basketball? You've never been on a reservation and watched a reservation games. I mean, they're incredible. They'll blow your mind how passionate basketball is in indigenous people's cultures all over North America. So Anthony Johnson, this is important because he did an interview later and said that he had an out-of-body experience. Do I believe him? Oh, yes. He has died tragically at 37 years old. He had a stroke at his little girl's birthday party. It's very sad. And the reason I want to do this, I've been around a long time. And I've saw a lot of great basketball. In that building, I was in the big dumb drum, the Delta Center, when at Michael Jordan's flu game. You don't think that's marquee? Oh, fuck. I was in there when he dropped the shot on the Jazz. I was sitting right across. I had season tickets for the Jazz for years until 2001. I got rid of them because of prices. I mean, it's obscene. The NBA is obscene. But anyway, I can't stand it. You know, and so I was here when Jason Kidd got beat by the Cheeseheads and sent back. I was at Jason Kidd's last high school game at Arco Arena. I've been at so many marquee games and events. I watched Jimmy Valvano cut down the nets in there. That massive upset. I watched, oh God, I watched David Robinson play in there. I watched so many greats play in there. Of course, I watched all Damian Lillard's games. I did the play-by-play until I got cancer in 2011. This is important. I challenge anyone, show me a more greater performance and accomplishment than Anthony Johnson had here in March 10th, 2010 against Damian Lillard. I did the play-by-play. Now, this is important. I had Lillard sign this shirt. Of course, you can't see it because he signed it in black ink. 88.1, that's the last game that 88.1 The Beat, the famous cutting-edge college radio show in this state, in this city that existed for 50 years, was marquee. That's the last sports broadcast for 88.1 Bit, was that game. I did it. This is the shirt I had on. I had Lillard sign it. You can't see it. I'll put some white across and have him re-sign it again. So, this is important. This isn't like one of these other conferences and tournaments. This is all or nothing. You either win the tournament, the Big Sky tournament, which they used to just take 4 teams to it. Now, you know, it's all greed, neutral side, but they used to play it at the home court. Weber State dominated that year. Damian Lillard dominated that year. 2009-10. Exactly to the moment a year. And why is that, Marky? Utah Construction, who built this, who merged with GE, the Wattis curse, as I call it. Wattis, yeah. That's who built the reactors at Fukushima, Japan. Kevin Blanch, the famous anti-nuclear on this university. You know, I think it's so irony. You know, I call myself the 2012 San Francisco Giants because of that comeback. Life is full of circles. And, of course, we had Lillard here 2012. I got cancer in 2011, as you know. We'll talk about that. And then came in Corey Seager here. Corey Seager was here in 2012. You know, and didn't in 2012, wasn't he the manager of that 2012, the greatest comeback in sports history? Maybe this one. And, of course, Kevin Blanch doing all his historic, iconic work in 2012 here. All roads lead from Ogden. Anthony Johnson in this game, Montana versus Weber State, one of the truly greatest rivalries in the history of sport. I'm doing the play-by-play. It's 40-20 at halftime. You heard me right, 40-20 Weber State. Lillard had an excellent first half. Anthony Johnson, I believe, had 10 of the 20. Second half, they go up. I mean, I think they were up by 22 or 23 right off the get. Anthony Johnson goes on the greatest run, I believe, in basketball history. In the second half, these are college games. These aren't NBA 15-minute quarters. These are 20-minute halves. 34 points in the second half. You heard me right. Against Damian Lillard. You don't think Damian Lillard knows how to play defense? Oh, he knows how to play defense. 34. He shot 100% from the field and 100% from the line, including he scored the last 21 points of the game for Montana. 21 in a row. Weaver was double teaming, triple teaming him. He was out. I'd never seen anything like it. He was out of his mind. Totally unconscious. I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, these balls weren't even hitting the rims, going just nothing in net. So it's so historic because basketball metaphors matter. It's like baseball mirrors culture. Basketball metaphors, I'm telling you, this is a hallowed, sacred piece. I grew up here. You know, this was so... The native culture calls this Shadow Valley in this Shoshone land. Shoshone. Chief Cherokee, Little Soldier. Kevin Soso Goya Tuwa. That's what they call me. They did. When I walked the coast of California. This is the greatest performance. Now, everything's on the line. Everything. You win this tournament, you go, there's no doubt in my mind. If Weber State wins that game, Damian Lillard's the #1 pick in the NBA. There's no doubt in my mind. I knew he was an NBA star from the day Randy Ray's coach didn't. You don't believe me? Go ask McCoy. I'm friends with McCoy. You know, the point guard. They lost the year before. Lillard's freshman year. In this building. They won the conference. They lost in the semifinals. I still don't believe they lost. Of course, in the 2011-2012, I was full of cancer. I missed most of it. They played up at Montana, and they got beat. Lillard never got to play an NCAA tournament, which blows my mind. So when he's a freshman, anyway, I saw his film, whatever. I used to be friends with Randy. I worked for Coach at Beglin, you know, and those great Arsenal, Eddie Gill. I mean, I saw some freaking performances in here for Weber State players, including the great Jerry Carty, who scored all those points in that house, who holds the record. You know, but not no half. He had 25 in the first half when he broke that record. Anthony Johnson had 34 in the second half. Now remember, it won 66-65. So out of the 66 points, he scored 34. That's Michael Jordan-ish. But the second half, you got to take away 20, kids. 46, that great number 46, Cody's. I love that number. Corey Seager, such a beautiful number. That's what Corey Seager won right here in Ogden, 2012. So, out of the 46 points they scored in the second half, he had 34. It's the greatest performance in basketball, and everything's on the line. You either win, you don't get it. There's no at-large bids in this conference. I'll never forget, I'm standing there in this shirt doing it, and There's Lillard looking back at Randy Ray. The second he passed ball foul. Lillard leading the country in free throw shooters. I'm screaming, keep the ball in Lillard's hand. Keep the ball in Lillard's hand. Randy Ray in March basketball was pitiful. Now, by the way, Weber State has, I think, the most talented team in the history of the school this year. That's saying a lot. Justin Thigpen, Willie Soldier, Harold Arsenault, the show. Eddie Gill, Scotty Bamforth. Oh, God, what a player. Jeremy Siegman, Joe Ballin, boy. I might go on and on and on and on. Jerry Harding's the greatest player in this building. Damian Lillard, Damian Lillard, Damian Lillard. At the end of the game, he hits the shot with a few seconds to go up. We were still ahead all the way. I can remember Lillard dribbling the ball up by 22, up by 18, up by 15. You can almost feel it. Up by 13, up by 10, up by 10, up by 8, up by 6, up by 3. Up by 1 with a few seconds to go. Everybody in the fucking house knows who's getting the ball. They got 3 guys all over him. 4 guys. Makes a shot that blows my fucking mind. It's to this day. Well, there's a few seconds left. The ball comes in. Who does Anthony Johnson tie up for a jump ball? Damian Lillard. I knew what Lillard was. I remember telling guys, we're going to win, we're betting gas. I said, yeah, do you fucking mind? You living on? We have an NBA player here. He's a freshman. Why are you not here watching him? He got no publicity here. The fucking media is so pathetic here. KSL, Deseret News, all these people. No. Kind of like Rashid Shaheed. Who's that? Fucking no publicity. By the way, Rashid Shaheed is the most underused fucking player in the history of the NFL. Bar none. Oh, he's just fuck. Guy's got the greatest hands I've ever seen. Just like he was here at Weber State. I'm the guy that named him Lightning. Now he's Comrade. Go ask him. Go ask him. I'm the guy that promoted. His own agent will tell you, fuck, the footage and everything, the only footage we really got early in those fucking days and everything that really matters, like his injury and all that, is from you. Yeah. No. Tribute. I want people to know I'm not letting this slide. Just against the likes of Damian. That's all. You don't think Damian Lillard's all that? Always was. He had a terrible coach. By the way, Lillard will probably end up coaching here someday. We have a good coach now, but a great coach. With this team they got this year, he'll probably get all kinds of offers. He'll pull that out of here. I mean, because this team's going deep. But what do I predict for Weber State basketball this year? I'm a big fan of Dyson Kohler because I was fighting for my life, and Dyson Kohler almost died. Of course, Dylan Jones is here. But they're not just Dylan Jones. This team is loaded. Right? Fucking loaded. Cyril Greek's son, the guard. KJ Cunningham, they're 2 guards. They're bulked up. They look out. Look the fuck out. I think they're a Sweet 16 team. You know, of course, I was at the Bagelin loss against Florida when it rimmed out. I was in 95 in Tallahassee when Nemhart missed the front end and won. They lost on a Hail Mary to Allen Iverson jerk to go to Sweet 16. Of course, the 2003 Boyette. But the Randy Ray was a catastrophe. Me and Randy Ray got in a big old fight over there by the Union after they lost to Xavier in the tournament. And I'm like, what the fuck, Randy? You know, and he's like, Kevin, we just don't get the players like when you were for big. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't get the fucking players. Are you out of your fucking mind? You mean like Damian Lillard? You don't get the fucking players? And I rattle them off. Ballin' Boy, fucking Scotty Bamforth, fucking Jeremy Siegler. You mean fuck, they're superstars in Europe. Fucking Harding, Jarek, they're fucking mega superstars in fucking Europe. I'm so fucking pissed. That's where we had our parted ways. I said, they lost to a lesser team than you in the fucking next round. He didn't want to win in March basketball. He was ready to go on vacation. I remember when he left here, I said, you'll never even see him here again. He won't come back here ever. He's off fucking doing whatever the fuck he is that he does. He was here for the money. Duffin Daniels, originally I had my doubts when they hired him. I'm like, he's a Randy Ray knockoff. No, he's not. No, he's not. I've been to practice. I've been watching. No, he's the shit. I really like this guy. And this is a fucking school. We're talking Phil Johnson. We're talking Dick Motta. We're talking Gene Fisher. Legends. Ron Bagelin. I spoke to his wig right there. my favorite. Well, hopefully Eric is that. Daniels is that. We'll see, right? But I want people to understand this is because of KWCR. 88.1 beat Cutting Edge. We were the #1 FM station in the whole Rocky Mountain region. Cutting edge programming, cutting edge investigative journals. They wanted to get rid of us and they wanted to get rid of us. So in the 2011-12 season, I'm all fucking stoked up. You know, Lillard coming off the broken foot. You know, he missed his season. I got to tell this story about Damian. He's sitting in a chair right there, you know, shooting. Frank Lade used to come to these games. I'm doing the play-by-play. KWCR, Manny Gonzalez, Kevin Blanch. Frank Layden's talking to me, visiting. Here comes one of the Jazz fucking morons, and I hate the Jazz. I mean, I call them the BYU Jazz. By the way, I watched Danny Ainge get upset and sit back in here. And in the tournament, we used to get second round because why? Arnie Farron's from here. Who's that? Yeah, he's Ogden High. How about Watt Masaka? I want you to Google Watt Masaka. Now, why the fuck would Weber State not have his fucking uniform flying in the rafters? The old Deseret Gym, which is the old Weber State Gymnasium, has been vacant for 20 fucking years. Wamasaka is born and raised in Ogden, Utah, the first player of color in the history of the NBA. He and Arnie Farron played on the same team at Ogden High School. Arnie Farron was head of the NCAA committee. Arnie Farron won a national championship at Utah with Wamasaka. But he first played here at Wamasaka at Weber State, won 2 national championships. Oh, it's just a JC. Well, why the fuck? Well, I told you how corrupt Utah is. Racism? Well, I'll tell you what, I begged him to sign fucking Jeremy Lin. And go ask Jeremy Lin about the NBA and him. He was the fucking California State Player of the Year. I'm like, look, here we go. Wings, we will pretend. Wow, it's disgusting the military does things there. So, I want people to understand. You know, we were the #1 school business in the country. And we're a private school. I was a chick professor there. What? Yeah, beating Morgan, beating Harvard, beating Yale. They ripped its head off. Now the FBI's in there. How can that happen? Well, that's what they did with the football team. Top 10 power football. They're up at Pocatello today. Get it? Fuck. How is Idaho State getting 8.5 points? Idaho State will beat them. I'll do another video on that. By the way, Arizona State will probably beat Utah too. They're fucking about 4 or 5 to 1 on the money line. I remember when Lillard played here. I wouldn't gamble, but I know plenty of people there know those fucking Jets. Oh, it's disgusting military stuff like games there. All day, every day, all night. It's abuse. I mean, how would you like to be? Oh my God, what? The United States taxpayer? Holy shit! All day, every fucking day, all night. Oh, sound of freedom. If that's fucking freedom. So, I want to make sure this gets up and recorded in history. This is the greatest fucking performance in a basketball game in history. Name me another one. Jordan flu game? I think it's second now. I was at that game. I was at Nash when he was a freshman at the Huntsman at the fucking U. That over fucking hyped up product at football, but in the arena when they used to be the great basketball fucking arena, Arnie Farron again. We used to have tournament games every year, but the arenas aren't big enough for them now, the greedy fucking NCAA. They're sickening. When Steve Nash in the 15 seed Santa Clara, by the way, Weber State, do they play? No, they play St. Mary's, or his cousin. We'll see what they're made of here in a few days. Their home schedule, get this, because Dylan Jones is going to be an NBA player. So Utah, I believe, and Utah State were scheduled to play here. I think they went to the NIT championship game last year. They were scheduled. They all backed out. Seriously. They didn't want to play against this team because they're thinking, oh, this team's going to smoke us. Kind of like when I was at Lillard's bracket basic. I got cancer in 20. Just hit by a train, as you know. The greatest, probably marine biologist, the greatest activist. Remember my great show on 88.1 The Beat, Post Ignorance Project? I mean, we had, fuck, I literally had hundreds of thousands of fucking viewers and listeners. No wonder they got rid of it. So I got leukemia in 20. Oh, when Anthony Johnson did this in 2010, that's to the second, to the moment, 1 year before the Fukushima disaster, to build the freaking reactors. Gee, Utah construction. They cheated. We know that. What's Fukushima? Don't say the F. 3 full core meltdowns. What he did that night, as he was interviewed years later and said, I had an out-of-body experience. Did it create Damian Lillard? The fire that's in Damian? Oh, there's no doubt in my mind the losing here that Lillard experienced because he knew what he was. Oh, I used to talk to him. You want to talk arrogant? It wasn't arrogance. Oh, fuck. That's a lot of people call him the most arrogant person they ever fucking met. You know, back in those days. I don't really think it was arrogance. He knew what he was because you watch his game film in college. How the fuck because look, these major universities collude against players like him. You know, ask Jeremy Lin. Fucking Lillard was all that in fucking high school. He was fucking, one of the best players in the country in high school. We knew what he was right off the get here. I did. Randy Ray didn't. I knew he was headed to the NBA. You'd ask Lillard even when he was around, whatever. Oh, fuck, I'm playing in the fucking NBA. I guarantee it. I will be a superstar in the NBA. He'll tell you to your face that. I knew that. So Frank Layden's sitting there and the scout comes walking by. You looking at a player? Yeah, I'm looking at a player. Opposite team, I think it was Eastern Washington. I don't know, maybe it was Montana. It was what, Big Sky game. And I looked right at that, and Frank Layden's looking at me. Frank Layden, by the way, who turned on the Jazz. I mean, fuck. He says to me, when I'm looking at him, I says, hey, I looked up that scout. I says, your NBA player sitting right there. He's in the booth. Damian Lillard looked right up. The guy started to laugh. I told Frank, just like this, in perfectly good fucking English, the Utah Jazz are a bunch of fucking morons. You know? They always were, by the way. I mean, ask Adrian Dantley, he was right. Fucking George Karl used to smoke. Remember when they were the 2 seed and the 7 seed beat him with the small lineup? I remember Larry Miller and George Karl fist fighting in the fucking stands. Ricky Green, fuck fast. They used to play fucking games in there. The arenas ain't big enough for these fucking greedy fuck. The big Salt Palace is the greatest arena in history. And by the way, great performances. I saw Jethro Tull open up in there. He used to jump on Ian Anderson. I saw Stevie Nicks behind the curtain snorting cocaine. We love her. She's Utah. She's ours. We love her. You know, maybe the greatest fucking band of all time besides Boston. Fucking maybe a landslide. You see my gypsy going back to the velvet underground. All in here. Alabama. Fuck, what a great concert. Fucking Man at Work. It's a mistake. How come they don't have concerts here anymore? That's a good fucking question. Fucking get fucked up Utah. You don't fucking think Utah's fucked up. I want you to start Googling around about Tim Ballard. Kevin Blanch, the greatest activist in an era. I'm on the campus at the same time as Lillard. Lillard got no love. Lillard got no attention while he was here. None from Utah. I mean, neither did I. Kevin Blanch, the rest of it, but Utahns will give Tim Ballard $100 million. No Utah supported my fucking. Nope. They didn't. Well, we as the fans supported Damian Lillard. Me and the old timer, he's 96 today. It's his birthday today, who I sit with. He's 96. He's really close with Lillard. He was from day one. We knew, both he and I. He told me, I got to tell you the story. He told me when Dylan Jones was a freshman. I've known Dylan really closely since his freshman. Clear from when Idaho State up there when he knocked out the fucking referee on accident. The old man says, call Dylan over here, Kevin. So I'm like, hey, Dylan, come here. I want to introduce you. This is the oldest fan here, blah, blah, blah. He's 96 today, Mr. Freeze. And he's like, let me tell you something. He looked right at him. He says, I've been here for all these years, clear back to the Swenson gym from day one. You're better than Lillard was at this point. And he's like, what? You heard what I said. I said this is towards the end of his freshman year, Dylan Jones, and I'm like, you really think? I says, I like him and he's good, but he ain't fucking Damian Lillard. Yes, he is, Kevin. He makes sure he tells me that every time I see him because I sit right by him. And I'm telling you, when the old timers tells you something, you better listen because he knows his shit. Just like he did on Lillard. Fuck, I remember freshman, he and I talked, and he says, oh, Lillard's a first rounder. Lillard will be a superstar in the NBA, just like I was with Seekland. Just like I was with, I'm like, Scotty Bamborth will be a superstar no matter where he goes. Fucking the NBA fucking overlooked. Just like Kevin Blanche was on Rashid Shaheed from day one. He's an NFL. Play back the tape, Your Honor. But I want to get this up for history to record Anthony Johnson. All these great performances in the bunch, including Val Bonner cutting down that, including Jason Kidd get beaten his last game when they were like fifth in the country. You know, that massive upset when North Carolina beat Virginia in that building, cut down. And Val Bonner, we love Val Bonner. He died of cancer. You know, the water's curse. We love him. Anthony Johnson has died way tragically too young at 37 years old. I want his legacy to be remembered because I was there. And not only that, it was the last game that 88. They sold off the Signal, the Utah State letter, for $25,000. Why would they do that? I was in a bone marrow transplant, clinging to life, dying. So I got to come out in 2012. I could walk about that. But when I only got to come out for a couple of days. I put a mask on. I had a nurse with me. And where did I come? I came here. I sucked up. And they played in the Bracket Buster game. They had a Bracket Buster. Remember those days? And that was Lillard's greatest game he ever played. That's when he just went crazy. I'm like, they're going to get a fucking 12 seed. They won the Bracket Buster, and that's why he used to work in the NBA. But Anthony Johnson put a stop to that. It created the fire in Damian Lillard. Oh, fuck yes. Got to go with that left, Jerry Carty. Look at Jerry Carty. MVP last year over there in that Spain. He's playing in the fucking Alps over there. Fuck. He's a guard. He shot 62% last year. Greatest player I ever fucking seen here. He never played a tournament either. Remember when he was a freshman? They were ahead by 7 points with like 40 seconds to go and lost in the championship game. I mean, we've dealt with a lot of heartbreak around here. But so Dylan Jones told me when he was a freshman, I said, listen, I'm talking to these players. You know Randy Ray's never won an NCAA tournament game. What? I says, Damian Lillard never played an NCAA. What are you talking about? I says, Damian Lillard never played an NCAA tournament game. He lost in the tournament 3 times, all 3 years. You know, they won the conference 2 years. They really should have won all 3 of his years. But that there was a freak on Montana. You know, and Deron Cherry. I take it back. You know, it wasn't him that tied. Montana recruited Deron Cherry, his old nemesis, from the same AAU league as Damian Lillard. Yeah, it wasn't Anthony Johnson that tied him up on that jump ball at the end of the game. It was his old nemesis, Cherry. Montana recruited Cherry just to guard Lillard. Dylan Jones to Kevin Blanche. I says, no. He says, I'll guarantee you I get you a tournament win. NCAA tournament win? You're guaranteeing me that? Yeah, Blanche, I guarantee you. And I'm like, okay. So last year it looked like he was going to the NBA draft, which I knew that. I named him Dylan Magic Jones. By the way, I changed his name to Dylan Dantley Magic Jones because he's developed that at one at the rim, and he needs to keep doing that. So I thought he'd go, but he came back out of the draft to play one more year because he wants to be a first rounder, not a second rounder, like Lillard. You got one more chance, Dylan. Do it. By the way, Blaze, Sidell Threet's kid, something else, BJ, but the player I don't talk about the most, number 11, Stephen McPlankton. He's an NBA guy. Stephen McPlankton. I'm telling you, they got 3 guys on this boat. I think they probably got 12 guys that have played professional basketball on this same team. I'm not kidding you. So, but I want this to be recorded, a long video, but it had to be done. It's important for Anthony Johnson's family and his heirs and for basketball fans around the world to know what he did in this building on March 10th that night. I'll never forget. It was so surreal. It was like I almost had an out-of-body experience, which I had a lot of out-of-body experience here going on. It was so hallowed, you know. Kevin Kevin. I mean, I have lots of incredible, hallowed, sacred, you can't make them up, experiences right through here, including in the hospital over there, Glassman's Pond. So beautiful here, Shadow Valley. What he did that night, 34 points in the second half. In a game, the total points was 66. When they scored 46, he had 34. He scored the last 21 points for him, 21 in a row. 100% from the line, 100% from the field. It's the greatest fucking performance of a basketball player in fucking history. And I know. Try me. So, to the great Anthony Johnson. I'm very fair. I mean, I got really, well, everybody did around here. Got all the hardcore fans were all choked up when they heard this. So I'm dedicating the season, this marquee season 23-24, Weber State, to a Montana Claire. Yep. I'm dedicating the entire season to Anthony Johnson. What he did that night in this building, you go ask Damian Lillard. You'll never see anything like it again in your life, and you never have before, and you never will. It's the greatest performance in a basketball game in fucking history. Bar none. He signed this, Lord. You can't fucking sign it. I'll get him to sign it. The last game ever broadcasted by the legendary freaking radio station. 88.1 The Beats. Ogden's radio station. Fuck powerhouse. They sold off the signal and told that's the last sports broadcast done for 50 years. That was that night. I did it in this shirt. I think it's the most historic basketball game in history. One of them. I mean, it's right up there with the Michael Jordan flu game. The shot. Stand tuned.